I just want to tell you one story, of course very good, and that is about Baba's miracle. When we were in Dehradun in 1953, it so happened that Baba was in seclusion. He had come here, on the earth to work for the world, but he would always be in seclusion. Rarely he would be available to the people, to his lovers. Rarely he would be available. He would always be in seclusion and he was doing his work. What work he was doing, it is, of course, nobody could understand that, because his work, it is when he comes for everyone, not only for human beings, but also for the lower kingdoms. He gives push to every kingdom of consciousness, right from stone to human being. So he would always be in seclusion. So when he was in Dehradun, he was in seclusion and nobody was permitted to see him. One day it so happened it was evening time. Baba had left for his bungalow, and one king and a queen, they came to the Mandali's bungalow. And what we find, that Baba also returned. Baba also came there. So it so happened that queen, she lost her daughter. And she was so miserable, crying and crying for her all the time. So somebody suggested that here, Meher Baba has come. So why don't you go to him? Of course, he would just bestow peace on you. And he says that he is the avatar, he is God. So why don't you go to him? So she comes along with her husband. And she was very, very miserable, crying and crying and crying. And Baba came. So when Baba came, of course, they were there. And Baba said, what's the matter? Why do you look so miserable? What's the matter? And she says that, Baba, I lost my daughter. I loved her like anything and I cannot live without her. So Baba said, you lost your daughter? What is there? You will get her back. And immediately, the change took place. Can I get her back? Baba said, yes, you can get her back. What is there? But Baba, she is cremated. So what, Baba says? So what? He said, but how could she come back? She is cremated, she turned into ash. Baba says, what do you take me for? And she says that I was told that you are God. So Baba said, if you accept that, whether there is anything impossible for him to do? There is nothing impossible, he can do anything. If you accept me as God, then of course there is no question. God can do anything, So will I get my daughter back? Baba said, yes. And of course she was composed as soon as she heard, But Baba said, don't ask me the time when she would come back. Don't ask, but I tell you that she would come back. Now what happens? That she felt very happy. The next morning she goes to Baba's bungalow and she says, Baba, may I just clean your room? Baba would never allow anyone to clean his room except Mehra. Still she does. She cleans Baba's room and Baba would not permit anyone, but Baba permitted her. So every morning she would go, she would clean Baba's room and she would feel happy. So it went on for months together and then Baba left Dehradun. When Baba left Dehradun, came down to Mahabaleshwar and Satara, she would write letters that Baba, so long you were there in Dehradun. Of course, I just forgot my daughter, but as soon as you left, again I remember, please tell me when she would come back to me. And Baba would ask me to write that, that don't worry, she would come back, just wait for some time. So every week that letter would come from her and I would write the same thing according to Baba's instructions. Then in 1954, there was a big darshan program here at Ahmednagar, and she came all the way thinking that now I would go and ask Baba personally that when my daughter would come back. So, and Many people, about 100,000 people were there, and she came to Baba. When she came to Baba, Baba asked her, "Do you want to ask anything?" She says, "No, Baba. No, I am so happy to see you." "No, but if you want to ask me, don't hesitate." She said, "No, Baba, I am so happy to see you." And she did not ask. But what happened? Since that day, she forgot her daughter completely. She did not remember her, forgot her completely, and here is Baba's miracle. This is really the miracle, that here he does not just like, you want something, and if he gives that thing, what is there? Only thing, whatever we remember, if we forget our own existence, then there is gain. So long we remember, of course the world is there, all these things are there, but when we forget that, that is a great thing. So she forgot her daughter completely. Now Baba had said to her that you would get your daughter back. So of course she forgot, and she was very happy. She would come to Baba time to time, and she would perform Baba's aarti, and she was very happy. Now her son-in-law, he wanted to marry another girl. And when she heard, of course, she had forgotten, so she did not mind, and she goes, to attend the wedding. And what happens? The girl, he married, looked like her daughter. And that girl also had the same affection as her daughter had for her. And then she realized that, yes, Baba gave my daughter back to me, but in this form. So this is just Baba's miracle. Means it is not that when your desire, your wants are fulfilled, that is Baba. No. Baba's miracle means to make you forget all this. And when you forget, of course, there is no worry. Now, he wants me to say something about the significance of Baba's tomb. I repeated so many times, but again I will repeat for you. Baba's tomb, this tomb, of course, it was in 1927, it so happened that there was a school, and the children from different places, they had come here. So Baba asked the Mandi members to dig a pit. So a pit was dug there where you find Baba's tomb. And then Baba was in seclusion in that pit. And there was wooden planks and tin shade and one window. So in the evening, Baba would come up, sit on the planks, nobody would see him. And he would give discourse to the boys who were in the school. Now what happened? That Baba was in seclusion, nobody would be able to see him, and at the same time he was observing fast. So he would take only 2 cups of coffee before he entered into seclusion. He had given this order that 2 cups of coffee should be sent from Lower Meherabad to his tomb, which is now called tomb. At that time it was a pit. And one boy was there, his name was Lahu. So he would take the flask of coffee, and every day he would take. After 5.5 months, when Baba came out of seclusion, then Baba said to the women Mandi that I had asked you to send 2 cups of coffee, but why were you sending only 1? How much love you have for me? And they were amazed. Because when Baba would say 2 cups, it would not be more than 2 cups, it would not be less than 2 cups. They would just measure and send. So they were very much amazed. And they said that, Baba, we were sending 2 cups of coffee every day. Then Baba called that boy, and Baba asked him that, tell me the truth, what were you doing? And the boy said to Baba that while taking coffee to you, on the way I would sit down and drink 1 cup of coffee, and then rest, of course, I would keep there. So Baba said, all this month I was taking your prasad, but don't repeat it again. So when he was in seclusion there, he was doing his universal work. Now the boys were there. You would just think that the boys, Premashram, so many boys were there, where are they? Whether they follow Baba or they don't follow. What Baba did for them? It is really a very long story. Very, very long story how this impression, the connection of impressions and different things take place, and what he does, nobody understands. But I tell you, Baba made it very clear when Baba went to Kashmir in 1930. That was considered as Baba's private visit to Kashmir. And that private visit, of course, nobody knows about it. Only in the book you find that Baba's private visit to Kashmir. But it was with some purpose. He went there. And what was that purpose? Baba wanted to go to the West. And he wanted to take that boy Ali with him. Now Ali, you must have read about him in the book Sops and Throps, that so many times he came and his father came and he took him away, and again he would come. But this time he was sent to Iran. So Baba sent one of the Mandali members named Rao Sahib to bring him. But his relatives did not allow him to go to Baba. Then afterwards, Baba sent Baidul, another Mandali. He went there, he tried, but of course the relatives were not prepared to send him back. So Baba said, all right. Then Baba went to Kashmir. When Baba went to Kashmir, he went to that with this purpose, and he asked the Mandali members to find out good boys, ideal boys. So every day they would go out and they would search for the boys. And they would bring boys, and what would happen, Baba would just look at them and give them sweets, clothes, and money, and he would ask them to go back. And they were thinking, Mandali members were thinking, that he wanted good boys and we just searched and found good boys, and here Baba, does nothing, just gives them sweets, clothes, money, and he sends them back. What is this? Whether this is Baba's pastime? So it just went on for days together, and they were just thinking this is just Baba's pastime and nothing else, And one day, of course, Baba said to them that you think that it is my pastime, but it is not so. I have come here for certain purpose. And what is that purpose? Purpose is that I just want to contact a proper link. And what is that link which is connected with that boy in Iran, Ali? So if I contact that link, you will see that Ali comes here. And for that purpose, of course, I have come here. You think that all these boys, of course, they were there, and now, of course, nobody comes. It is not so. My work is not like this. My work, they will get the result after 2 births, 3 births. There are certain impressions which create obstructions, and those impressions should necessarily be wiped out. So, when he makes contacts, of course, that process is accelerated. And because of that, sometimes what happens, you find that certain person, he goes against Baba. But he does not go because the process is accelerated. And because of that, apparently it appears as if, he has left Baba. Once the contact is made, it never happens. One cannot live, though apparently it may appear that he has forgotten Baba, he does not care for Baba, but it never happens. And so Baba said that those boys who were with me, you will see that the result for them will come after 2-3 births. So my work is lasting, it is not just for the time being. Now, at that time, one boy was brought, his name was Pandit. And when Baba saw that boy, he asked him to be there. And he was with Baba for 5-6 days. Baba would give him good food and good clothes and everything would be there. And then Baba came down to Nasik and he says that now the link is contacted and you will see whether Ali comes or not. But the telegram comes that he came down to Quetta, and from there this telegram came that Ali is coming. So it happens how one can say, how one can understand his work, what work he was doing. So in the tomb, which was put in 1927, Baba was in seclusion for 5.5 months. And then afterwards, of course, in 1938, in his physical presence, the tomb was constructed. And then in 1940-41, Baba was also in seclusion there again when there was war. And he was in seclusion. Nobody would be able to see him. Even from the tomb, he would go to other cabin. He would just cover his body and nobody would be able to see. At that time, of course, Dhuni was also lighted and Baba came, but enclosure was there and of course he was brought like this. Nobody could see except a few Mandi members. So he was doing that work there. And then afterwards, when there would be a meeting or Savas program, Baba would ask his lovers to go and take darshan of his tomb. And he says that while I am alive, I just ask you to take darshan of my tomb, and he would send them there. So this tomb, it is not just a tomb like, yes, Baba's body is there, but his work is there. And that work, what work is there? Because his work is there, and that's why people come there. There is a treasure. He has put the treasure for his lovers in the tomb. And what is that treasure? When the avatar comes, he also brings with him the impression of his work, his universal work. Those impressions, they are not binding impressions, but those impressions, when he distributes, those impressions, of course, wipe out the binding impressions of the individuals. So those impressions, the treasure of those impressions, they are called divine free impressions or yoga impressions, impressions of his universal work. So the treasure is there, and he has allocated the share of each one. And when the share is allocated, people, of course, in order to take that share, they have to come. There is no alternative, because the work is done for that. So when anyone goes there, he gets a portion of his share from that. Then again, his binding impressions, they are just wiped out. Again, the capacity increases. Again, that one goes there. Again, he takes a portion of his share, and it just goes on and on. So this tomb, it is just like a flame. And when the flame is there, of course, mass must be attracted towards the flame. So that work he has done. And because that work he has done, this tomb, I should say, it serves as if he is physically alive. He has just opened the workshop, the wine shop. That wine shop, in order to open that wine shop, he worked and worked when he was physically present. And what work he is doing now? He is just distributing the wine. That distribution of wine, this work is now going on. It is not that Baba is not working because Baba has dropped his physical body. So of course, what he can do. That is not the thing. He is always working. He is the only one. The avatar is the only one who is responsible for each drop from beginning to end. He is responsible. Others, perfect masters, of course, they also have universal work. But as soon as a perfect master drops his body, his work, his duty is over. And of course, no work remains for him. But the avatar, he is responsible for each drop from beginning to end. That is from Stone Age to Stone Kingdom to human being until one gets God realization. He is the one who is responsible. So it is not that tomb, what we should do. Now there are different things. People just think, what is there, People go there and of course they bow down. What is there? It is not that. Now you go and you bow down. You bow down because of love. The third person, one person, comes from somewhere. He does not know anything. And when he finds that the pilgrims, of course, so many people are going, what is there, that side? I should also go and see. So he goes there. Now he finds that people, they are bowing down there. So he thinks, that there must be some custom, to bow down. So I must also do this because I have come here. I must also do that. It must be the custom. Now his bowing down is to the custom, not for the sake of love. So that is the difference. And why then people say that, oh, this is all ceremony going on, it is not proper. Why should love, expression of love is different. If one does not do that, his love says that, you just have him, don't show anything, don't do anything. If your heart says that, do that. It is not that you should do what others do. That love is quite different thing. Your expression of love, you can express in any way. If you don't like anything, just like that man, because he thinks that this must be the custom here, so I must also do the same thing, bow down. So his bowing down is nothing but to the custom. He bows down to the custom, while you bow down to your beloved. Your heart bows down to the beloved for the sake of love. This is the difference. And that's why this ceremony and other thing, it comes in vogue because it becomes ceremony afterwards when there is no love. When there is no love, of course, whatever is done mechanically, it becomes the ceremony. I tell you one example. It was in the year 1926, and of course, at that time the monthly members were there, the school was there, and so many people were there, monthly members, and the boys, about 500 people were there. And of course, for the monthly members, the food was nothing but, do you know that bhakri you eat, millet, chapati, and tea without milk. For the boys, of course, good food, milk, good nutritious food would be given to the boys. But then Baba said that, all right, you take all these things. But once in a week, there was one family, Baba lovers. So we would go there. And the order was that when Baba would go, all the monthly members would follow immediately, leaving all the work. So it was summer time. And one day in the afternoon, Baba was going that side. So all the monthly members followed. And Vishnu, he was doing some work, and he was barefooted. And as soon as he saw that Baba was going there, so he followed him, barefooted. Now Baba looked at him, he was barefooted summer time, and Baba did not like but did not say anything. When they reached there, at that time Baba was writing. So Baba says, Vishnu, you did not bring my slates? I said, Baba, I forgot, when you were going, so I just followed. And then Baba says, oh, you have come barefooted? Yes, Baba, I came. So Baba says, all right, you go and bring my slate from Meherabad and just take my chappals, So Vishnu says, what? I should put on your chappals? I said, yes. You have come barefooted, so just put on. I said, no, I will not do so. You are my master. How can I put on your chappals? I should worship your chappals. I should not just put on. Baba says, but I tell you, just do it. He said, no, I am not going to do that. I am not going. It is just disrespectful. You are my master. How can I do it? He said, yes, this is your love, You can pay disrespect towards my word and you worship my chappal. This is your love. Love, when there is love, of course you must worship my chappals, it is good. But when I ask you to do that, you say that, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I should worship your chappal. But you can worship my chappals and you can pay disrespect, you become disrespectful to my statement when I say. You can break my order, of course, you can do that. So then he could realize and he put on Baba's chappals. So it is the conviction. Conviction means, what is that conviction? That, master's chappals, shoes, should be worshipped. So, but the master himself, when asks you to do certain thing, you are so absorbed in your own conviction that, of course, you pay disrespect towards him and you don't care. So that is the thing to be remembered, that whatever he says, of course, at that time, there is no question, I should do this or I should not do that. That is that is just immaterial. Whatever he says, of course, we must obey. There is another example. There was one man, his name was Arjun. Of course, he died in 1926. Quite illiterate person. Quite illiterate. But Baba had made him the head of the institution. School was there, so he was the head. And Baba would love him like anything. When food would come, Baba's food, first Baba would give him. And other Mandi members, they were thinking, why he was so loved by Baba. This man illiterate, does not know anything, has no manners. And still Baba pays so much attention towards him. Why? So it went on, and Baba would not say, and Baba would do more and more and more. And everybody would feel jealous of that man, illiterate, they would say. Illiterate, does not know, no manners, nothing, And Baba would love him. One day Baba went to the school. He would inspect the school. And Vishnu was the person who would get most of the beating. So one day stick was in Baba's hand. So Baba asked Vishnu that, Vishnu, you just beat me thrice. He gives the stick. He said, what? What are you asking? You are my master, I am my disciple. I cannot do this. So Baba says, just listen to me, I am asking you, do it. So he says, no. Then Baba called Rustam, elder brother of Adi. He was the manager here. So Rustam says that, Baba, I cannot do this, and if you ask me, I will jump in the well and die there. I cannot do this. He says, but I am telling you, just listen to me. So he says, no, I cannot do it. I would rather die. Then Baba called Arjun. And Arjun, Baba said, take this stick and beat me thrice. Without a second thought, he did it. And then Baba said, this is the reason I love him. Now, did you find the difference? Here, when you say that if you would ask me this, of course I would die. That means when I ask you to do certain thing, you just disregard. You have no love, no respect for my words. And here is this man. Whatever I ask, he does. And this is the reason I love him. Apparently it appears, that what he did, he just, Baba asked him and he did this. And Baba is the master God, avatar, and he did that. But here, the one who asks you, you must do it. So many times, it was really very, very embarrassing thing for us. But Baba would ask us to kick him, and we had to do. Baba would ask different things, and we had to do. And of course, when the order was there, of course, we had to follow. So Baba trained us like this. It is not that when he would say anything, of course, we must obey. Here Baba said this, and Baba, of course, did not fulfill. As if, we know more than what Baba knows, When we just analyze things, on certain occasion Baba said this, but it was not fulfilled. It is always, he is the one who always fulfills, but in what way we don't understand. Our capacity, it is all beyond understanding. And we try to understand who cannot be understood. We try to understand him. We have got limited mind. And he is the infinite. How can we fathom his depth? How is it possible for us to fathom his depth? Now I repeat this incident very often because it is a very touching incident for me. I was keeping night watch. Always I was a night watchman. So, and I was also doing correspondence work, writing books. So, in 1967-68, you know that Baba was in seclusion, and there was restriction on correspondence. Nobody was permitted to write letters to Baba, and Baba would do his seclusion work. At that time, of course, though the ban was there, still the letters would come, so many letters every day. Because what would happen, that Baba lovers, they would go from place to place and they would tell people about Baba, and those new people, they would write letters to Baba, asking for his darshan, And if darshan was not possible, at least few loving words from him. So every day letters would come, and then after his seclusion work, Baba would ask us whether you have received letters, and when we would say yes, he would ask us to read out those letters. Once it so happened that after his seclusion work, Baba would be engaged in some other work, and we had no chance to read out those letters which we had received. I would attend to Hindi correspondence, Erach would attend to English correspondence. So for a week, of course, I did not get any opportunity to read out those letters which I had received. And I was seeking that opportunity. So for a week, of course, nothing. On 8th day, it so happened that I was sitting there, bundle of letters were there, and Baba was sitting and he was looking at me, and he says to me, "Today I've got headache. You reply." And as soon as he said, "You reply," my mind, a thought came in my mind that what sort of God he is. His lovers are really great. They don't want anything material or spiritual from him. They just want his darshan. So he says that I am in seclusion, darshan is not possible. Then they expect a few loving words direct from him. So he asked me to reply. Of course, I did not say anything to Baba, and he did not ask. And in the evening, when I went to keep watch, as soon as I went there, he asked me, "How many letters did you write today?" And I said, "Not a single letter, Baba." He said, "Why?" I said, "Where was the time?" He said, "Yes, there was no time. But tell me the truth. What were you thinking?" And as usual, I said, "Nothing." He said, No, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. What were you thinking?" And it was very embarrassing for me. So I said, "Nothing, Baba, nothing." Yes, tell me the truth. What were you thinking when I asked you to reply?" And I said, a thought came in my mind. Yes, what thought? He was very anxious to know, as if he did not know. "Yes, tell me what thought? And I said, a thought came in my mind. Yes, tell me, what thought did you have?" So I said, a thought came in my mind. Again I was repeating, and he was very anxious to know. So I said, a thought came in my mind, and I had to repeat the whole thing, that what sort of God you are. Your lovers are really great. They don't expect anything material or spiritual from you. They expect your darshan. So you say, "I am in a seclusion. Darshan is not possible." All right. But then they expect a few loving words from you. So you ask me to reply. Baba said, "Yes, they are really great. And because they are great, I come down for them in order to worship their love. But what do you mean by this? You are with me since so many years, and you don't understand. If they come and see me, what they will see? This physical form? What is there? There is nothing. This is the real thing. This was the sign of his seclusion work. This is the real thing I am giving them, and you will witness with your own eyes what will happen to them who have not seen me physically. This is the real thing I am giving them, and you will witness with your own eyes what will happen to them who have not seen me physically." And this is the result. Because he has given that real thing to each one, and that's why they are coming to him. There is no alternative. It is not that we come to Baba, it is he who invites us. It is he who works for us. It is he who suffers and gives us his love. So because he has given, we have to come to him. We have to follow him. There is no other alternative. There was another thing which happened at that time about his darshan and other thing. So one day, at night, sometimes I would say, Baba would ask me something and I would say something. So he said that, "How many letters did you write today?" I said, "Baba, I wrote letters, but no good, all these people, of course, they are so anxious to see you, to have your darshan, but you don't allow them." So Baba says to me, "That darshan, you don't know what darshan they will get, how they will get, you have no idea. I am just stretching the bow. Stretching and stretching, this is the time when I am doing this. So I am doing that, and when I would just, that time would arrive, I would just, shoot the arrow. And it would just touch every heart, make wounds in their hearts. What is there, So that work I am doing, just stretching the bow. And then time will come, I will shoot the arrow, and it will touch all the hearts. And not only it would touch, but it would make wounds in their hearts. And then they would know about me, they would then get my darshan. That will be the real darshan for them, because once they have that longing to have my darshan, that is my darshan. So that arrow, when it would make wounds in each heart, because that is the universal arrow. It would not just for particular persons, it would be for all. So they would be wounded. And when they would be wounded, of course the longing would be there. And that would be my darshan to them. That will be my real darshan to them. So that work I am doing. Nobody knows what is wound and what is that and why they are coming to Baba. It is the compassionate one, Lord Meher Baba, who has done this work for us because of his compassion. And because he has done this work, we have to come to him, we have to follow him, because he has done that. The wound is also there. But even there are some who know about the wounds, there are some who come to know about the wounds, because when they will have that pain, then they will become conscious about that. But the wound is there. And wound is there, but pain, pain starts. When pain starts, suppose they become conscious about him. So that work he has done, and that work, that's why I say that in his tomb he has put that treasure, and the treasure is there. Those who have got the pain, they come and take the portion of the share from the treasure. It is all allocated, it is all arranged, it is done by him. You will see more and more people, they will come, and a time will come when the whole world will come to him. Now, Baba has collected all unnatural impressions in the form of grass, grass, green grass. So, and there is a big heap of this green grass, and he has put a little fire underneath. Now what happens? The grass is green and that fire is just underneath. That portion which is near the fire dries up and it catches the fire and it burns. That portion which catches the fire and burns, that portion comes to him. Then next portion, and a time will come when the whole heap will be burnt. When whole heap will be burnt, the world will come to him, and that will be his universal manifestation. Until that time, portion by portion, it will come to him. So that process is gradual, and it will go on for years and years and years.